What's up, Otaku fam? We are back with more reactions here for the channel with some more Spilled Ink. Industry Pro teaches us traditional animation.
Hell yeah, man.
Anime. We're still catching up on all the Spilled Ink videos that we didn't get around to this daidus' manga, so we're getting to them. We're recording all this stuff ahead of time because we are going out of town the previous weekend of the week that you're seeing this video, so we had to kind of go through our backlog here a little bit. So apologies for that, but regardless, be sure to comment, like, subscribe. Every little bit helps. Check out our Patreon, link down below for full and cut reaction to TV shows, animes, and movies, and let's hop on in.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Spilled Ink, and right now we are not at the studio, we're at someone else's studio. It's Belle's studio. Hello,
Hi.
Belle.
Hi.
Oh, and we have emirichu, the one and only Emily.
They already know me, honey.
Someone new just clicked the video.
I would have guessed.
Not that they already know who I am.
Anyways, what are we doing today, Emily?
We are learning how to animate traditionally, which I've never done before. I've never even animated before.
We have no idea what we're doing because Belle set up everything, basically.
We are here with an industry professional. Belle, could you please introduce yourself to the viewers? Let them know, I guess, your credentials, what you're all about.
Yeah, so my name is Belle, Bellamy Brooks, full name, my credit name, I guess. But I've worked in anime for about 4 years, in the animation industry for about 7 years before that, doing kind of Western animation. And in my experience working in Japan, I've done movies, TV shows, maybe about 20.
Delicious in Dungeon, baby. Blue Exorcist.
4 of which I
100
animated on
Girlfriends.
paper. So,
Oh my goodness.
I have very little experience doing the paper stuff because they were small sections, but I worked on 100 Girlfriends as a Sakuga Kantoku, animation supervisor, and also on the new season of Blue Exorcist on paper. I did layout animation on that too.
Oh.
Belle, what do we have in this packet right here?
Okay, so basically what this is called is a katebukuro, just cut bag in Japanese. These would be run around all over Tokyo, delivered from prime contract studios to subcontract studios, which allow them to get these files, which I will go over the components of this file as well. I've prepared some special materials for you guys.
Okay.
I created your very own custom Spilled Ink timesheets, folders, and layout paper. So these here, that's a secret for later. These are called timesheets, but the timesheets also double as folders. I'm going to be teaching you how to animate on paper fully, which means
It looks like an Excel spreadsheet.
this is part of layout animation, and it is still a part of it. It's been the same for 100 years. This is a
So, in America, this is an X sheet.
What did I say? For those of you who are new to this channel, Ren here went to animation school. So
Yeah.
she actually has some information on animation, at least Western animation. So I was going to ask, like, you're going to have to stop the video and explain
It's an X sheet.
what you know and what you don't know, what's different.
I need
Uh-huh.
when I need to be wearing pants so I could get up.
But then we wouldn't be content creators if we wore
if I
pants.
wasn't wearing, if I was wearing pants. I have my folder.
Oh, yeah.
We might could pause this and you could cut it later near the end and I could go show like what it is.
Yeah.
Or we
Do I
could,
do that at the end of the video?
if you want to cut it right now and I could go grab my folder.
Oh, we're back.
We're back with magic and I'm wearing pants this time.
No, she's not. Don't let her lie to you.
I'm in shorts.
We don't build this relationship online.
Off of wearing pants.
We're pantless in almost every video.
Let me see.
Sorry to break your illusion, Otaku fan.
Okay. Yeah. So first of all,
Uh-huh.
handy dandy folder.
Backpack.
Handy dandy folder.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
See.
I mean, that's the thing, isn't it?
It is. Okay, that's. I actually didn't mess up and write in pen. Okay, cool. So, this is a smaller one. Yeah, this works. Ugh. It's a long boy. So, that's an X sheet. That's kind of like what she's getting ready to go over. And it tells you from the start of the animation to the end of the animation, like where you begin and where you end. You have like a little synopsis, type of camera, especially for animation on paper. I don't know if that one has it. It looks different, but it's kind of similar. I think it's the smaller one up there. Says the footage count, which I think is up there. I think I saw that too. That's my professor's seal of approval. I miss him.
Yeah.
Camera instructions. So, yes. It's kind of similar to what that is.
Hell yeah.
And you can, of course, get bigger because, like, as you have a longer animation, it's going to take more and more sheets. Like, this one was a 2-sheeter. And I messed up on it because I wasn't supposed to write in pen. But I wrote in blue pen, and he was like, "You're supposed to write in pencil." I was like, "Oh, my bad."
Tisk tisk.
And it's like also too, so like, I don't know if that one would have it too. Yeah, I guess it does, kind of like with the action, the sound, and then the whatever that is, and then the camera. So like this one being a little bit more complex, this has like the animation object, which was the ball, and then it has the background, so we had to do both, and it just tells you for how long the object is going to be inside the camera. So we
Hell yeah.
continue on, my good
It's part
sir.
of layout animation, and it is still a part of it. It's been the same for 100 years. This is a multiplane camera sheet that's used for those big machines that used to do animation. We still use them today. I'll explain this later a little more in detail.
But first, we want to thank today's sponsor, OtakuCouple.
OtakuCouple is a monthly Japanese artisan snack box that supports local makers across Japan. Each box
Thanks,
is carefully
Soccer
crafted
Code.
to
Not going to
deliver an
sponsor us.
authentic
That's
taste
crazy, bro. We love Japan.
The ikonte, so the storyboard of the scene we will be animating. This is the first time you guys are seeing this. So the story is just going to be Emily at a train station waiting for daidus, and she's kind of like sad and lonely.
It's just
And
my
then Daughter's very
Oh,
happy.
wait, that's so cute.
When you arrive, there's a camera move, and you guys can look at this once I pass them out.
Have you prepared like a whole
Well,
like
I'm-
professional?
I'm just flabbergasted right now. I'm not even speaking because
Flabbergasted.
it's just so crazy right now what you're pulling out right now. This is insane. Like, what?
So here as well, if the Seisaku Shinko is really nice, they will print these out too, which is the ikonte page blown up, which we'll be using as the base for our
think I
drawings,
have one
which
of
we'll draw
those
over
too.
the top of.
I think I have that saved somewhere as well. Just hang on while
Uh-huh.
I look through my handy dandy notebook.
Uh-huh.
Yes. I saved a lot of things.
Yes.
And you can see the little holes. So kind of like what she's got here. That's what we used, except we had like the, I don't remember what they're called anymore. But if anybody's ever gone like to, not saying that, was Disney World is in California. Disney World's Florida. Disneyland is California, right?
I believe so.
Okay. Not saying Disney World isn't legit, but if you've gone to the legit Disneyland and visited Walt's Animation Studio, whatever the light boxes are there, the circles, that's what our drawing was based off of, is like the circle with the light box in it. Hers is flat, so that's actually really cool looking. So it's part of the desk instead of like just up like
So,
an easel.
there's a camera move here.
Camera move.
Yes.
Wait, what?
So this is an information sheet for the compositor, so they know that the camera will be moving from A to B, and the timesheet has markings of when it should start moving and when it should stop moving. All right, and then the last thing I have in the folder, you'll get design sheets too. So I created a TV anime version of Emirichu.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'm so cute. What the heck?
I tried to do your eye style as much as I could, and then the anime style is kind of based off Bochi, the rock, so
Oh, I
kind of
love
like
it.
a
I love Bochi.
hybrid of those two things.
So what is this called?
So this is called a sete, or setting. is just literally just the translation of it. You'll get a bunch of object papers like this. I'll give an example here from one of my.
You're gonna fool our viewers into thinking we're actually getting like an anime made. We're not. This is just an example.
This is from 100 Girlfriends Who Really, Really, Really Love You. They released a lot of merch, I guess, books and things, which this is one of my biggest inspirations for character designs. Something cool with this too is that I had a little show and tell. They also released this at Comic Cat, which was like a promo katebukuro. So they have their timesheet folders, and inside they have all the genga of these cuts here. So these are prints of the episode. So this would be done traditionally. I think these were drawn digitally. But they still print them out and use these big giant timesheets. You can see that the timings here of when the frames are to be exposed.
Are some parts in like an anime episode done traditionally and other parts are done digitally? How do they decide which scenes?
So it's basically up to the animators. I would say that all animation supervisors, most of them now, are trained traditionally. So I had a chance to work at Shinei Animation for a few weeks, so Doraemon's studio. And every single Sakuga Kantoku in that floor that I was in, they were all doing paperwork. I would say maybe 50% of the industry is on paper. And it's just up to the discretion of the animator.
So I have a question for you, Belle.
Yes.
Which one do you prefer?
I prefer paper.
Let's go!
Well, anyways, let me give you guys these packages as you would be.
Scary!
Thank you.
I did these timesheets once in college, and I still didn't know how the heck is.
Oh, so you've worked with this before, Daidus?
Only once, and I hated it.
Okay, so I'm gonna make you not hate it. The thing that I love about X Sheets is that if you have enough experience in animation, in anime specifically, there are so many commonalities and rules to follow that are really easy. So once you have those down, you can time your entire animation for your entire section on the timesheets without drawing anything. And then you don't have to worry about it again. So that's what I'm going to show you guys how to time it. Here as well, the last thing is a package of just blank papers. So these will be what we are animating on.
Oh, okay.
This package is so cute, but it's scary. I'm scared.
One interesting fact about these layout papers, the hole punch that you have is custom fabrication. So they cost $300.
I'm sorry, what?
Just to hold your thing?
It's a hole punch.
Wait, why? Wait, why?
It's just one company makes them.
They own the
They
market.
got the monopoly. That's
punchers?
crazy.
Everyone has this same yellow hole puncher. So I'll do a quick rundown of the tools
That's
that we
crazy
need. So
work.
we need animation taps here.
Is that to hold your
These
pegs?
are to hold your animation frames together
Yeah.
when you're animating.
There's
And
nothing
this is
in here
the
for you.
fancy one, the expensive one. This is the cheap one.
What is the difference?
It's like a millimeter thinner.
Oh
also
my
have
god.
So that when your pencil hits up against it, it doesn't create bumps. I
I
have a
also
third one
had
here,
one.
which is a plastic one
I had
from
the plastic one.
the
so you
100
could just tape
Girlfriends
it.
Oh, that's so cute.
Comic
Little,
Cat
like,
thing.
souvenir one.
I've never actually animated with this one, so I don't know how well it will do.
But you only need
I'm
one,
down to
yeah?
use it.
You don't need
I
it.
like
I
pink.
feel like
I'll give you that
staying
one.
You only need
overnight,
one though, right?
day
Yeah,
after
we only
day
need
at
one.
school.
So I'll give you each
So
an
I bought
animation
myself
tab.
like one of
So
those
generally
portable
animators will use
line
number 2
boxes.
pencils. These are like the iconic
that I
number
could
2
use at home,
pencils
and I
that
just bought a
you'll
plastic
see
one of those
animators'
things I
drawers
could
full of
tape it
them
down
because
on
they
my-
just burn through
You
them so
still
quickly.
stayed
I know, this
overnight
one's
at
like a
school all
nub.
the time.
Yeah, that's a nub. I'm gonna make Daidus use that one.
Oh yeah.
But I have a hack. So here is a pencil extender.
Oh,
So now you have the longest pencil.
I got the longest long.
Generally speaking, they use these and pencil sharpeners. So I have a electric pencil sharpener, which works well. But my favorite one is this Faber-Castell pencil sharpener, which just makes a perfect sharpen every single time. I have varying types of erasers because you have to be quite precise. So I have this eraser, which acts like a mechanical pencil, but it just has a flat edge,
Nice.
which is nice to use. This one is a point eraser. So it's
They
very
get that small?
Yeah, because you have to like erase a
I love
highlight
those.
pupil
Those are
in an
brilliant.
eye.
Those are the best
some-
thing
a highlight
that was
on a
ever
pupil.
created.
I want that. I want that.
All right.
Those
Take
are
notes,
great.
take notes.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
Lastly,
Take
are colored
notes.
pencils. You have to have these. And each of them has a specific purpose and designation. So blue is for shadows, red is for highlights, Green is for gradients.
So much information.
And then for purple, you might see every now and again if there's like a double shadow, like JoJo, they might use something like that. These are fill colors over here. So you would use yellow for highlight fill, light blue for shadow fill, and pink sometimes for hair shadow fill if you want to make it different than the others.
Okay, because I always wondered, like,
What
every
all
time I
different
see
colored
these.
lines are for?
Yeah, I always
Yeah.
wondered.
Yeah, it's extremely standardized.
How long does it take to like learn?
I don't remember what this was for though, but this is our paper, so it's similar. I was doing
Something.
me or Troy was doing something on that. I don't remember what that was for. But this was for our ball. Because like every time you take the principals, the first class, you have to do the basic ones like the tennis ball, the ball animation, and then the bean bag or the flour sack animation. Yeah, that's our paper. This is why we had to learn how to draw on colored pencil, because these things are kind of thin. And the madder you get, the easier it rips.
Yeah.
When you erase. This is hard to erase also too.
Yeah, because same principle.
And also, this shit is expensive. You go through this, I wish I could probably actually look it back up later in life. Go to my bank account, figure out how much I spent at Blix off of paper alone.
Yeah.
God, it was so expensive.
This.
Well, I've maybe like a couple years, I think.
Did you have a cheat sheet for it?
Yeah,
No,
for, like, the
I learned
colors.
the hard way. Like I just got thrown into the fire and I had to figure it out because I didn't get trained traditionally at all. Normally people go to Simongako for this stuff, so I just had to use online resources, peer learning, and working in production. So basically, what we would do from here is we would write our timesheets and try to figure out the timing of the piece, and then we'd start drawing.
Oh, you do the timesheet first.
This is a controversial topic.
Oh, it is? Oh, sorry.
No, so like some people really want to animate first and feel it out, but when you're on paper, like you don't really have as much experimental freedom.
Because if you mess up,
to,
it's a lot of work.
and you don't have a timeline, so you have to do it on the timesheets.
Okay.
But even digitally, I do the timesheet first. Open up your timesheet,
Okay.
and you can see, I'll explain the anatomy of the timesheet as quickly as I can. We're very used to timelines looking like this. That's all this is a vertical representation of a horizontal timeline. The first second is this like brownish line here, second here, like third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So each timesheet has 6 seconds of time on it, and each row is a frame. These blue lines help you just kind of keep track of every 6th frame. Anime is very often animated on 3s, so having that marker helps you really quickly fill out timesheets, because you would only ever put stuff on right below the line or in the middle. At the top, you can see the title of the episode, the title of the animation, the episode, scene, cut. Next to that is the time code, which would be seconds, followed by however many frames. So you might see 4 plus 12, 4
Yeah,
plus
we would
8,
darken
no more
it.
higher than 4 plus 23, because then it would switch to a new second. And then next to that, you see the Genga artist, that would be us. And then however many pages there are. This top section is just counting how many frames there'll be for Doga, which is the in-betweening process. So we would fill this out to see how expensive the cut's going to be. The higher the number, the more expensive.
I've always wondered how what dictates how expensive a cut would
I will
be.
say that
Layout
if I
animation
remember
is a
correctly,
flat
we
fee
always
per
filled out
cut.
our X sheets after
So
we
you can have as
animated,
many frames in a
because
layout and it won't affect the cost of
couldn't
that
always
cut generally.
count on following that
But
timeline.
if it's has
so
many,
you
many
had
frames,
to adjust as
every
you,
frame of Doga and Shiage is around $3 to $4 per frame. So if you have a cut with 40 frames, it's going to be way more expensive than a cut with 10. So the directors and producers will look at this top column and say, this is too expensive, cut it, remove frames. All right, so that's the timesheet. And so when I'm looking at this, first I need to show you the animatic, because you would often be given that too. So here's the animatic.
Oh my
So
god, so
just
cute.
very short. I added extra frames in here that I also put in. We will put into the timesheet just to help us guide the animation along. So but I didn't print them off because you wouldn't have those printed off in the cuts. So the extra frames in here are just like hair follow through, maybe a blink in between, that type of stuff. But generally, animators would have their papers held up like this, and then they try to watch it as it falls. Layout animators would see that, okay, so you go from this pose to this pose. So the hair would follow behind and need to settle. So you would know that there would have to be an extra frame right before this as the hair settles. This movement as well, there would be another hair settling. And between the first and second one, there would probably need to be an in-between guide, how to get from this pose to this pose. So I drew that as well in the animatic. 3/4 view, blinking head down. And that would cut that motion in half. I'll probably we can speed through this and I'll let you guys use the cheat sheet. I think it'll be just a bit easier actually. So you can kind of copy these down. So we have 1, hold, in between 2, in between, back to 1, and then we hold until, so I'm looking at these marks here. So this is the first, second mark.
Also a good example too. So in school, and I know a lot of places are taught differently, but Troy really beat into the brain about believability. So with my class with him, because there were two different, I think there were two different professors. I know it was Troy and it was somebody else. And the other dude was a little bit more stylized in his animation teaching, which there is no right or wrong way. It's completely up to preference. Troy, because Troy was, who used to work in Disney, and he was he worked very seriously with anatomy. So anatomy was very important to him to follow through. And believability follows with anatomy, so it's kind of like, what is the most realistic? So we would never animate on holds, and that is the hard. I think that's why we never did X sheets first, because he always wanted something to move, and because he was like, the longer the hold, the more it becomes less believable. And becomes less real, because nothing in life is ever standing still for even a moment. Something is always moving. So we never were allowed to work on holds, or we would fail the animation. So yeah, it was a lot. So, and technically kind of what holds are is like, it's a copy and paste of an existing frame. So he had a very sharp eye, and if anybody did that, he would see it. And I just remember that because back when I was in my senior class, so I was a PA for him, so I was his production assistant, and I sat in with all of his classes and under classes during COVID time when we had to switch to Zoom and everything. And so seeing everything performed online, like virtually, like, you have a clear eye, you can see shit when people do things wrong, and it's like, you weren't supposed to do that, because that's just cheating in his eyes, because it's like, again, nothing in life will ever stay still for a second. Something is always moving, whether you're blinking, a hair moves, you twitch, like anything, like something is always going to be moving. So every frame had to have some sort of change, and we were never allowed to do holds. So I think that is why we did those last, because nothing really could be accounted for. Like, you can have a guideline, and we did use these as guidelines. We had our rough X sheet, and then at the end we finalized the X sheet. So it keeps you kind of accountable for where you start and where you end, because you have that where it's like, okay, so this is where I need to begin, this is where I need to end, but in between here and there, I can do whatever the fuck I want to make sure it's the most believable way. So just saw that, and I was like, yeah, we weren't allowed to do that. We were never allowed to hold. I will say, I do think, especially since she says she came from, like, I guess digitally, so like I don't know if she said she was a 3D animator at all. Maybe she just was a 2D animator, just digitally. I think it is easier. I say that, but I think it is easier to come back to traditional animation after doing it digitally. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, I do feel like I needed traditional in order to learn and appreciate digitally because it helped me understand the time frame, like how to do my in-betweens, because I hate in-betweeners. I hate in-between animation. So exhausting. That's why they make that a separate job. You can be a keyframe animator and then you can be an in-betweener, and I am not very much a good in-betweener. It's exhausting. It's daunting.
And then 1, 2. So for second, 1, 2, held all the way to here. In between 3. In between 4. And then this is a quicker motion. So we're actually going to animate on 2s for the head turn from 4 to 5, or 4 to 6 is going to be a bit quicker. And then hold again to here. So if you're keeping track, I'm animating most of it on 3s. So it's 6 seconds here, and then putting in between at the end, in the middle at the end. This is pretty much how all animation in Japan is timed, so it makes it really efficient.
My brain is fried.
So I gotta pretend this is an animate CC timeline, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, what's the difference between Genga and Doga?
So Genga is the layout animator. They will be responsible for first key and second key, which means that they will have their drawings that they will submit, they will get feedback on, and then they draw it again cleaner.
Okay.
And then after that, that gets sent back to the feedback round and then to Doga, which does the in-betweens in color.
If I'm the Genga, these slashes, I don't have to do them.
have to
I
do
don't have to do them. I'll be like,
Exactly.
that's your job, Mr.
Yeah.
In-Betweener, or Miss In-Betweener.
And today we're only going to draw 4 frames of this. So we're going to draw what I call hero frames. This isn't a real term, it's just one I made up.
This is a Bell term.
Yeah, so basically we're going to be doing the 4 frames that are included here. We might not have time to do the
Keyframes.
in-betweens or in-between guides, that type of stuff. So if we have extra time, we can add those, like the blink, the in-betweens of the head turns.
Even with 3 of us, we wouldn't be able to put it
We
together?
might be able to. We might be able to
Okay.
if we split the work. But I realized I made an error. So I shouldn't have made those horizontal lines, because having these stop exposing there means there'd be a hole in the animation. So these lines just need to continue.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh, continue until the slash?
Yeah, continue until the slash. So the last tool that we have is the Sakuga table.
Oh.
So the Sakuga desk. So these desks, these are traditional Japanese Sakuga desks that I got from a studio that was getting rid of all their furniture. I wonder if I can open my... I don't think I can get in without hitting the camera.
Oh, this opens?
Yeah, so these open, and inside is where the lights will go.
Oh.
I've modified it to have a LED strip. Eventually, I'm trying to replace that LED strip with something bigger and brighter. But
Modified.
I've never done electronics before, so I don't know. This was like a test. I think it's gonna work. So if you rotate that dial, it'll turn on the light table.
Oh.
I had like this switch I was gonna show you, but I don't think I can get into this. Normally, as a layout animator, you'd be required to draw the background too, but we'll skip that.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
But it would be a traditional style where the background, the character, any elements would be all on one frame like this. But the art of traditional layout like that is dying. They're trying to just do more focus on the characters. And daidus, the light table you have, which you are familiar with somewhat, is just the modern light table, which a lot of studios are using. So they mostly have this. The top here is magnetic, so you'll be able to pin this up there.
Bing! Bong, 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 bing!
And if you hit the power button again, it'll change it for warm, if you like the warm light.
Oh.
Which one of you wants the first frame or the last frame?
I'll take anything.
I'll take the last frame.
Okay, last frame is the front view one, so or sort of 3/4.
Okay. Oh,
So
hell yeah. I
it'll be
want that
A4.
one.
Or actually, no, it's a A8 is the last frame.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Eight?
Hell yeah.
So when you say
Whatever
eight,
that
Is
means.
it like the 8 frame?
Yes.
Okay.
So the 8th frame.
What does A stand for? Oh, A right here.
So I can explain what A is.
Yeah,
so
what is A, B, C, D, E, F, G?
Each of these is a different layer.
That's
You
the
can think of it
alphabet
as like
daidus.
layers in Photoshop or Clip Studio.
Ah.
So the bottom layer is A, the second layer is B, C, D, E, F, and so on. The background would be the back layer, and then you place the character cells on top of the background, and then you have like a second character that's on another side of the scene, and they would layer like that.
Wait,
A,
is the
B, C,
background
D.
not A?
The
Or is it its
background
own thing?
is its own thing.
Oh, its own thing, okay.
Because after the animation is done with it, they send it to the background department to be painted.
So are we basically redrawing this, but just more polished?
Yes. So this would be like the director's boards, which were done roughly and usually like not even this clean often. Sometimes it might be a stick figure. But yeah, so this is a bit tighter.
No,
so
look,
it'll be
it's
a
gonna
little
be like
easier.
this. It's gonna be cool.
The
bro.
goal
Don't
is
even
to
worry about
put
it.
this on model to the model sheet.
We have like a running joke on our channel and Daidus' channel where he can't draw me normally. Like every time he draws me, it always looks like effed up. Editors put an example. So I'm very excited because this, I think, is the very first time Daidus will draw me normally, right?
Yeah, let's see.
Honey?
You know what the problem is right here?
What?
I kind of like the rough sketch though. What if I make it too? All right, I'll try.
Every animator's goal is to make it look better than the storyboard.
All right, Belle, I have a burning question for you.
Yes.
What exactly got you into animation? What made you want to do this for a living?
That's you want the long story or the short?
Longer the better, baby.
Sure, why not?
I've always been interested in storytelling and art from a young age, like most animators or artists. But I never knew like what field I wanted to be in, so I tried everything. I tried acting, music, traditional arts, dance, radio, journalism, just all over the
Damn.
place. I think it wasn't until I think animation. The best way to put it is animation chose me, not the other way around.
Huh.
Because every job I applied for a different position than animation, but they kept hiring me as an animator. So the first job I
That's
was
funny.
hired on, I was going to school for TV broadcast journalism, and they knew that I did some motion graphics and stuff. I added in my portfolio. I applied for the job to be an editor because I wanted to be a filmmaker, and they said, no, you should just be an animator on our team. And I was like, I guess I could try. After that, basically, I worked there for 7 years as an animator and kind of just learned on the go how to make animation happen. Basically, during COVID, I got the opportunity to help build a tiny company that was trying to make it an anime called Tonari Animation. It was a really interesting, crazy, wild ride trying to figure out how to do something that many people have never done before. I think before COVID, the amount of foreign animators was probably like less than 10 that were working in Japan. I would say, let me rephrase that, Western foreigners. I think there's a lot of other Asian foreigners that were working in anime before, especially from China and Korea.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Arkansas.
Oh,
Hey.
So middle of nowhere, the woods. It's a beautiful place. Yeah, I think as I was helping build that company and trying to learn everything I could about animation, I had the opportunity to come to Japan temporarily. And yeah, when I visited Japan, I didn't even consider the thought of moving here until I was in my very last month of my visit. And that's when we landed a really awesome movie, which I'm not allowed to talk about.
oh no, all the NDA.
It was something that was super exciting to me, and I realized that my opportunities would just continue to be as amazing as that was if I moved here. So I made that decision very quickly, went back to the US for 2 months, sold everything I owned, packed up everything, and came back to
Good
Japan.
Lord.
Oh my god. Very jump in the deep end, this is what I want to do, for
Yes.
sure. If someone outside of Japan was interested in pursuing an animation career in Japan, would you encourage them to do it, or?
Sort of. Maybe. If someone really cares about stability, security, benefits, good union jobs, that type of thing, no.
Okay.
But if they care about being artistically
Real.
fulfilled, getting to skill up extremely fast and work in a really traditional environment where you can learn from masters, then
That is actually super valid facts, because I think even the time and I still think I'd love to do it at least once. It is so hard. And if any of y'all are going to school for animation now, have gone to school for animation in the past too now, ever since COVID, and not saying it was easy before, but ever since COVID happened, it is damn near impossible to get into the industry, like, without going through a bunch of different hoops. And I'm not going to name the companies that are a little scammy for it, but it feels like the only way sometimes to get your foot in the door, you either have to know people in the industry, because a lot of this is word of mouth. Like, somebody has to know you because they'll put in a word for you. But a lot of I don't want to say names because I don't want to do any of that, but like there are some studios that are outside of the United States or the farthest away from the United States in Canada, that will offer programs where they will give you a course and you will take the course, and by the end of that they may hire you after the end to come work over at their company, at which point you can relocate to wherever they are. It is not a paid relocation, so you would have to move on your own dime. You would have to find your own place because there's not housing. I have had friends that have done it. Some have had better experiences than others.
Yeah.
Most of the experiences that they've had, they've been overworked, did not get overtime, did not get paid accordingly, and to have to physically move out to where they were to make the type of pay that they were hourly is kind of equivalent to what you would be paid at, like, working at a fast food restaurant. So it's a lot of, are you willing to do that? And
Yeah.
and there's
And
nothing
then
wrong
also-
with that at all, but I think it is one of those where it's like, you have to be in a good standing position in your life financially. You have to have a good support network that will help you get there, as well as if something happens, we'll be here when you come back, because there have been a lot of times, especially now we're in 2025, COVID hit near the end of or mid of 2019. The animation industry has kind of been in fire since then, not just because of COVID, but because of the on-rise of AI taking over the industry. So they've been kicking out a lot of the what we'll call entry-level animators, so the ones who have just gotten out of college, or the ones who have only had like a year to 3 years of animation under their belt. They've kicked those people out. They've fired even veterans in the animation industry. They're hiring more people overseas, which is nothing wrong with that at all, but they're hiring people overseas because it's cheaper than hiring people where they are. So it's just, it is very hard to get in the animation field, and I don't want to ever discourage anybody from going to study animation ever, because that was one of those where I would not be able to know, and it's just my type of learning, like my way of learning. I am not good all the time at learning online. Like, now that I've learned this, I can apply that if I learn through an online resource, YouTube tutorials, things like that. I physically and mentally need to be taught by somebody in order to grasp something, and then I can do with that knowledge as I will with other resources or things. So, not to dissuade anybody from studying animation, please do it. It's great. It is a art that I pray to God flourishes more, and AI will die down a little bit, but it's hard. But I have thought about if and whenever we're able to move to Japan, I would love
Just
to at
try
least do it for 1 year.
Yeah.
But I'm also at a point in my life, being 32, having a fiance, having a daughter that is a fur baby, but she's still very much my child. I'm also very much not willing to give up my life.
Yeah.
And I do feel like, kind of like what Troy told me and told his class too many times, is that it unfortunately is a very good field for younger people who are not in committed relationships like that.
Yeah.
Because you have to sacrifice a lot. Like, animation isn't put on hold. You have to work on it, especially if you're in a film or a TV series. Like, that can't just be put aside to the next day all the time. Like, you have to work on that to meet the deadline. Whether that means you stay over, like, hopefully not overnight, but late, or taking that work home to work on late, or giving up your weekends to work on it late. So it's like, it is a hard field. It's rewarding to be able to do something you love, but it is also very mentally taxing because there's a lot of things you have to sacrifice for it. But I think that's also why I want to do my own thing on YouTube. Like, one day when we can make this full time, I will start a side channel where I can do my own animations. I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love to work with some friends to do that and just have the creative freedom and not be held back by companies like that. But it is a very... It's a lot. And it's a lot, but it's a lot, so...
And yes.
Okay, so a question that a lot of, people around the world would like to know is that they think that animation is kind of slave labor?
In the anime industry specifically.
In the anime industry specifically, and there's a lot of YouTube videos about it being like, oh, these guys, they are overworked, no? Am I crazy?
Every studio I've worked for has been wonderful. The people there seem very happy. They're laughing and cheerful. They might be working late hours, but here's something that a lot of people don't really consider, is that animators want to work long hours. And even if you force them to work 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, they will work more than that because it's a craft and a skill that they're honing, and it's competitive. So any animator who works less time than the others, they're going to fall behind.
In the studio setting, do you think they get paid enough for how much time and work they put into it?
I think they do, actually. So some of the biggest misconceptions is that animators make a really bad pay. And I would say that that's not the case in prime contract studios. So if you're working for a studio that has the core creators, the character designers, the directors, the animators that work there are living quite comfortably and they have good pay.
I do think that is based off of
the main thing
studios,
that people
though.
realized, or that I realized, was the only people that really suffer as far as pay goes are beginners, because they're not fast enough, their skills aren't high enough, they just can't keep up with the pace that they would need to survive. So that's why a lot of them go to school and they try to get past that beginner hump, because once they do, a lot of cuts for freelancers are paid per cut. So the faster you are, the better you are, the more money you make. I know animators that make $10,000 a month because they just churn out animation. And I know some animators that only make 150,000 yen a month because their pace is a bit too slow. It'll be interesting to put all of our drawings together and see.
All right, how's this?
I'm struggling over here.
Oh, something I forgot to mention. Draw past the camera frames. Yeah, we need to fill the whole page. The reason for that is because if later the doga lines end up being too thick or something, they can reframe the cut just a bit to make it look a little bit more higher resolution, or if they want to change the camera angles and things like that.
So I found it funny that you said that sometimes the producers or the directors have to make a note that says not to make the breasts too big, because apparently animators like to make the breasts big by accident,
They do.
subconsciously or something.
Oh yeah, it's totally
They
by
do.
accident.
They're trained to draw them very nicely, so
All right, how's this?
I think you made your boobs too small.
What? Really?
Yeah, according to the sete.
Am I too flat?
I think you're too flat.
Director Bell, my
Yes.
turn.
Yes.
Bell Sensei. Will we call you Bell Sensei?
Bell Sensei is
if we
fine.
worked under you?
Hey,
Bell Sensei.
Actually, you could cheat really easily because these are almost the same size.
I knew it!
Oh, but that was kind of what I was going to
So-
say too.
Oh my
as
gosh,
well.
she's
It's like
teaching
Something
finding
you
out
can
the
see,
difference between
is the you're very
Japan
close
animation
on the
studios
profile of the
versus
face,
American,
but
Yeah.
like West
But she's
Hollywood
looking down. That's a problem.
animation studios,
she is,
because I
but
do
you can
feel
like
like
rotate
I've
to see
seen
like she's kind of looking down.
I feel like
but
I've
the
seen
side
more
profile will pretty much stay
opportunities,
the same.
especially if you
So,
have gone to school for
something
animation
that
over in Japan.
they're always
Yeah.
really particular
But
with,
you
with
have to be
eyes
there
and
in order to get it. There's not a lot of
the jaws.
They
That
could have
most
changed
animators will
now, I
spend
haven't really
90%
looked, but,
of their time perfecting that.
there's
I
not
want
a lot
you
of
to take the
opportunity to
sete like
kinda
this
do a
and look
remote
over it and then
sort
see what
of
you notice the
thing.
differences, because I think the jaw is a little low, and the nose, the arc is missing a little bit of the character.
All right, Sensei, how's this?
So one thing that you could do, the only, like, everything looks really cute. The only spot that I'm worried about is this zone here is a zone I always try to hide, because it's an awkward anime zone, like, because their heads are weird shapes. If you're able to move the hair to cover that, I think it'll help.
Oh, so when I get notes back, it would be on like a blank page?
It would be on a yellow sheet of paper, like
Oh,
these.
so that's like the correction paper?
Yes. So the animation supervisor would use these papers to draw corrections, and they'll focus on matching the sete, all the details, and then adding notes that the director gave to you. So the director might change the animation completely, and the supervisor has to change it.
Oh, so much work for one frame. Good lordy lord.
How much do I get paid for this one frame?
This cut would probably be 4,000 yen total for everything.
Let's go.
And a layout animator would have been probably done already.
Huh?
Yeah, they can go really fast with this stuff.
Belle, question.
Yes.
What is, you don't have to name one, but what is / are your biggest like animation inspirations? Every animator has that one show or animation that like got them into it.
So the two animations that are inspiring me the most lately is Licorice Recoil. I love Licorice Recoil. And Imigimuru's character designs are just so good and clean looking. These characters, I studied these a lot when I was doing Iron Mouse Unleashed. And I tried to kind of pull
that
some
was
of
such a good series.
the style of that into it. I was really inspired by Kill la Kill.
I love how you have like an art book for every
do.
example.
It's important to have like these art books of your inspirations.
Big agree.
Artistically, I'm not going that direction anymore because it's a bit outdated. So I have to have inspirations now that are more modern, like Violet Evergarden.
Beautiful.
This is the Violet Evergarden boards,
so cool.
which are kind of inspiring to me. It's treated very cinematically, and I'd love to be able to.
I love official merch that is basically just like a little sneak peek into the actual process, like behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's incredible.
What would you say is the, like now that you've been in the industry for several years now, what would you say is the most challenging part about it?
I can't think of anything that's like particularly challenging.
Wow.
I think it's all just fun.
Wait, that's awesome.
That's good.
There's certain shows and productions that I've worked on that were extremely grueling and very difficult, but even those productions, I'm still proud of working on them. So like, I don't feel bad about that. I think possibly one of the more difficult things is just more of a Japan thing, which is that when you start at a studio, you don't get paid for like 45 days before you get your first paycheck.
Really? Wait,
So-
why is that?
But it's like a 2-month delay of your first paycheck, which can be really hard for people to, especially people that are foreign and they move here. I think people in Japan, they don't have to worry about that too much because they already have back pay from their previous job. I think that's the most challenging thing. Visa status is extremely difficult to deal with, but I think that these types of things are more like system problems in Japan for immigrants rather than industry specific things.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks so much better. Yeah, that's perfect. And now,
anything I'm
so
missing?
you need to add the shadows on the hair. So make sure you follow the shadow guide here. And also fill in any missing details
So
like
what
the
color
highlights.
is the shadow? Is it also the same
It's
as this?
blue.
Oh, it's blue.
So it'll be,
So blue is like the deep shadows?
yeah. So I did blue shadows.
So is the red like shadow for hair specifically?
So you actually wouldn't generally fill this in red. I filled them in,
You just outline it?
purple.
Oh, okay.
Because red, you usually just use red for the outlines of highlights. And then those usually get filled in with yellow.
Do I color in the shadows on the top of her head?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's underneath the the awning.
Oh, so it wants me to make a straight line. I should have made a straight line. Huh?
Yes.
I was getting
Oh, it's okay.
I was getting fancy with it.
It's okay. You can be fancy with it too.
I think it might look better straight though. So it's more anime, I think.
I think either way will work. The thing with layout animation is you won't be too precious as a animator because you know that whoever takes it from you next is going to redraw everything.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, really?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, so I'm making it perfect for no reason. I'm like, how are they gonna make a frame out of my really bad pencil sketch?
Oh yeah, I actually have a really great example of this too. So this is Akane Yano's Sakan book. She's the character designer of 100 Girlfriends, and everything in here is corrections. So sometimes they'll do partial corrections like this, but a lot of times they'll do full corrections.
All right.
How's it going?
Hey, help me!
You're missing some shadows. So there's shadows under here. She has these cheek highlights. There's some shadows in her eyes that are missing.
Oh, okay. The eyes are very okay.
So like the whites of the eyes, they have this kind of line there. Yeah, just kind of like go back and
so
forth
much
a little
work
bit
for
and see
one
if there's
frame is
anything that-
crazy.
Oh my goodness. Oh my, this is crazy.
Can I see your other frame, Emily? The one that you're not working on?
Oh.
I will start correcting it. So what I'm doing now is called Sakuga. It's the job of the Sakuga Kantoku. Normally there would be another paper in front of this that would be done by the Inshutsu, the animation director. Not the animation director, the translations are really confusing because Sakuga Kantoku sounds like an animation director when you translate it, but it's more accurately translated to drawing supervisor.
Oh, okay.
So they are not in charge of directing the animation, they're in charge of directing the drawing quality. Oh, you forgot to label your frame.
The lead.
What do you mean? It's A3. So yours is A8. So you would want to write here A8.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Boom, baby. A1, baby. Spilled ink anime.
Yeah, I think this is good enough to go on to the next phase.
I did it.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's go. We take those.
If you want something to do, I can give you something here. So I want you to be the supervisor.
Oh boy.
Supervise my drawing.
All right. Maybe I'm made to be a supervisor, huh?
So
I'm supervising your drawing.
yeah,
Nice,
you'll be
okay.
supervising my drawing.
So take these off.
Yes.
Okay.
And basically what you would be doing is looking at the sete, looking at my drawing,
So I'm flipping.
and you won't be flipping, but you just basically will be tracing this and improving it.
That's it.
That's it.
And then I pass it to
And then
someone
it'll
else,
come back
and they
to-
make the final.
And then it'll
frame?
come back to me, and I'll make the final frame.
Oh, you make the final
Yeah.
frame. Oh, so I'm just doing revisions.
Yeah.
Okay. Sensei,
Okay.
how's this one?
Ah, that's so cute. I think this is good.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you forgot the label. There's one correction that I think I'll make on that, but it's not that big of a deal. Okay. You supervise this one.
What? I supervise?
Yes. You'll get a little taste of multiple phases.
Oh.
So
I
you're
have no notes.
Oh, I'm tasting it
if
right
you scrutinize
now.
this, you'll be able to find some things that are missing. So, for example, the highlights are missing on the hair.
Wait, oh, I thought. Oh, okay.
The cheek circles are missing. And you can probably put a little more fidelity into the eyes with a sharp pencil. Normally, these things would all be done by the same person, so this is going to be interesting.
I guess the more you draw this character, the more you just know by heart, like what to fix and what to.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
No!
It's so thin.
It's such thin, delicate paper.
It is. Oh, there's a thing that Sakan can do too, is if there's something that needs to be omitted, you just put a little X.
Oh.
So these highlights that are in the shadow need to go away.
Okay, director song.
Okay. Yes, it's much more balanced.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Are you sure?
It is more balanced than it was.
Okay. We
But-
take those.
But the Sasakan would probably still correct some more too.
Oh please.
I think that the clothing probably could use a little work, but I think it's probably fine. After you have corrections, they'll get passed back to you, and you draw the whole frame again.
Oh,
Yes.
wait, what? Like
Yes,
from scratch?
From scratch.
Oh, like I take both of these.
You fuse the drawings into one. And your goal is to combine the feedback and make it better. I think this one we will turn into an in-between guide so we don't have to do it anymore. And the way to do that is to put a triangle here instead. So the triangle basically says that this is a motion guide for the in-between artists to follow. So they know how to go from frame 4 to frame 8.
Why is the paper yellow?
So the paper is yellow just as a color designation. The chief animation supervisor would have a green paper. The director usually has a blue paper, and it's just to help you remember which feedback you've gotten for that.
I see.
What if you, as an animator, do not agree with the corrections?
You can't. You'll get a retake. They will say, you didn't follow the director's corrections, you have to do it again.
Damn.
Because the people who are in those roles are in a superior position in the hierarchy.
Oh.
So what they say goes.
Okay, I see. I guess that's how you avoid the clashing.
This I think
sir,
kind
yes,
of goes
sir.
back hand
As you
in
say,
hand
sir.
where it's
Yeah,
like
the director's at the top, their
really
word
just
is law,
depends
and
on
then
the
everyone underneath
studio,
them,
on
you
the
have
treatment,
you have to agree with the
the
people
pay
above
you
you.
get
If there's
and
something
stuff
that
like
looks
that, because
off, like maybe the
at the end of the
supervising
day, when you're
director
an
missed
animator,
something,
this is not you.
or there's
This
like
is
something
not
that
your
looks a bit out of
art.
place,
This
the animators
does not
can
have
ask
your name on
and
it,
say,
even though you.
this doesn't feel consistent with
A
the
lot
cut
of people
before.
want to be in
Should
this
I correct it
industry
this way
to
or
have
not?
their name on
And
the
then
big screen.
that kind of stuff
Yeah.
is fine.
It's
but
still like
the drawings you have to draw perfectly. But in this case, none of us are playing the roles of really professional supervisors. So if you want to improve it more, then you can improve it more.
You seem to be a book collector or a art book collector.
Yes.
Do you have any art books you would
Yes.
recommend?
As you both know, the internet is now plagued with AI slop, so we have to have books again.
That's so true. I didn't think of it that way.
I used to use Pinterest for everything, for my designs and for for drawing, but it's like useless now.
Yeah, that's
So
Donzo now. That's
it's
Donzo.
gone.
Yep.
Until they figure out a way to delete all that stuff, it's useless. So I posted on Twitter recently a recommendation list of all my books
By the bell.
and what people could look at, so that they can do that if they want a deep dive. I would say there are a few that I would recommend for people
Yeah.
who want to work in anime. A lot of my books are kind of designer focused because I'm a character designer, but I could focus on animation in general. So that would be
See, she
this
has the
book called
animation
Anatomy for
survival kit.
Sculptors. It's a Western book, but
That's-
you could buy it in
that's the
Japan
OG
too.
book.
This is the best anatomy book ever on the market because it breaks down muscles perfectly. And some other stuff too. Oops. This one's good for beginner animators. Richard Williams, The Animator Survival
the
Kit.
classic, the
Classic.
Bible, the animated Bible.
Yes. So, I mean, any animator knows of this book, but the main thing to keep in mind for
I mean,
anime
you're a real
is
animator
that
because you knew it too
the
from
timings
first
here won't work for anime.
glance.
So they have 5 frames or 7 frame walk cycles in here. Anime does 4 frame walk cycles. So there's just some differences like that are more about optimizing animation that this kind of doesn't do. For VFX animation, I always recommend Elemental Magic. This is the Art of Special Effects by Joseph Gilland.
Ooh,
The art of special effects in whoa.
This is an artist who animated special effects on Renaissance Disney movies.
Oh, that's really handy.
So they talk about like explosions and smoke, and break down flames, that type of stuff.
Yeah, because like Dragon Ball
Water.
Z, they have to draw so many explosions
They do,
and smoke.
they do. There are a lot of good Japanese explosion books too. I just don't have any of them.
Is there like a
unfortunately.
designated like smoke artist, like animator?
There used to be more specialized VFX artists, but now I think people are generally like they have to know everything. Other than that, if people are interested in design, I think that it's really important that they have books of shows and character designs that they really, really are inspired by. Those become more useful than like how to draw books, for example. Beyond that, to stay up to date on modern styles of illustration and anime, it's really important to have illustrator books of modern illustrators. So Mika Pikazo is very famous.
Oh
illustrators.
yes.
I have a lot of their drawings. Oshinoko is also pretty popular right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
I
so
want that.
I have her manga illustration art book. Other than that, I have specialized books on that are more catered towards design. So this is a book on shoes. So it's literally just
Oh, yeah,
shoes
look at
Oh, wait, that's sick.
from different
just
angles, how to build shoes, the parts of the shoes, cross sections. Yeah, exactly. So they'll show like the platform, the top of the shoe,
Lord,
how they curve. These types of references are super useful, especially if you're doing design. So
Whoa.
this series of books is all about, they're all catalogs of clothing parts that are for cute girls. So it's just like hair ribbons.
Oh, that's
earrings,
super handy. We're buying those.
shoe designs,
wait,
socks
what?
designs, shorts, how to combine different elements to make original skirts and
Oh my god, they have
shirts,
hairstyles.
hairstyles. The other thing I would recommend is specialized books on body parts that you want to be able to draw well.
Yes.
So this book on hands is very, very, very good.
Hands and feet.
I highly recommend it. There's a book that's more adult, but it's just about drawing. Oh, hi.
Oh, censor!
You can censor it.
Wait, what?
So this book, a lot of people will have books like this because we have to draw this a lot
Oh
in
my
anime.
goodness! No wonder they're so good at drawing opie.
Whoa! What is the most
You're me.
corrections you've ever had to make on one frame?
Oh, good question.
I didn't know how to word that. I was thinking like, what is highest time?
You took it like a kid, man.
It's actually extremely common to fully correct an entire animation.
I have.
So it happens almost every cut. I have to do at least one full frame from scratch, basically. It's extremely common.
But what's the most number of times you had to correct one frame?
Oh,
Getting notes for it back.
so no, that never happens.
Oh, really?
No, so they have the way that they have the system built is so that it's really rare to have to go back and retake something. The layout animator sends it off to be corrected by 3 different directors. It comes back, you draw the frame like this, and then it gets corrected again through all 3 phases, and then it just goes to in between.
Oh, really?
Always.
They don't send it back to you to be
never
like,
send
can
it
you
back.
make extra corrections?
They will send it back though if the animation is unusable. But if the animation is usable, good enough, they push it through.
Oh, wow.
Always.
Sensei, can you correct me?
No, this looks good. I think this will work.
Thank you.
Oh wait, you were supposed to draw it on a white paper.
Wait, you made the correction on the correction paper?
What? No, I'll do. I just traced this one.
Yeah, you just traced that one.
Oh, that worked.
I know it's beautiful, isn't it?
It's good.
Well, I could keep it as like a souvenir.
When you watch anime now, like since you're so involved in like the production side, do you have a hard time like getting immersed when watching anime because you're so focused on like, oh, I know what technique they used, I know what they did here. I know-
Yeah, so if it's a modern anime that was done cheaply,
I would say that was what was funny because we started doing our anime reactions on Patreon like a year or 2 after you graduated from animation school, and I definitely noticed at least the first couple of years right after you graduated, you did harp. Like you had an eagle eye for any weird animation shenanigans going on in anything that we watched.
I still like. Still do. It's just it's gotta be more obvious before I'm like, okay, this is trash.
Yeah.
This is bad.
It's definitely, but that definitely
Yeah.
gave you an eagle eye for. Hey, minute.
Don't get me wrong. I can't remember. There was something we watched, and I was like, their principles are lacking.
It's just really funny to see. I was like, okay, look at you
Yes.
knowing what you're
like,
talking about.
They could have gone through more
yeah,
corrections.
like I'll give an example. So I love this anime, by the way.
We can censor the name.
No, it's fine. Konosuba, I love it. It's one of my favorite anime.
I love Konosuba.
But there's like a supervision error that I noticed that I just couldn't get over when I'm watching it. They sometimes have lines drawn under the eyes like here. Sometimes they don't. But it's completely inconsistent and completely random. So every time it disappears, I'm like, no. And every time...
No.
So yeah, I can kind of obsess over those like little details.
Oh,
Alright,
I
director.
remember the one that I was
forgot you
really
had to
thinking
redraw
of.
yours.
Oh, yeah, this looks good.
Nothing is consistent,
I kinda like
and
my old
it
one
was
better, but
ironically the one
what
we
can you
stopped
do?
watching.
Yeah, it's on
A
yellow
Boy and
paper.
Her
It's
Guard
wrong.
Dog.
So
Oh,
The
yeah.
art style
this
changed
looks
so
good.
much, and they would do the same kind of things with the
How
eyes
did we
and
do,
stuff. And it's
Sensei? Did we
like,
do an okay job?
not
I think you did good. I'm gonna finish this as quickly as I can, and then
Okay,
we
yeah,
can,
no rush, no
and
rush.
then let's put them together and see
Yay!
our partial animation.
We'll give you some quiet time to concentrate here.
Oh yeah.
You guys can keep asking questions. It's fine.
So, how many hours in a typical workday do you spend animating?
10 to 12, maybe. On like a good day, if I'm in a good flow and I'm not waiting on having to cram, I think I could probably do 8 to 10 hours a day.
Like a regular workday?
Yeah, like a regular work day, but I'm crazy and I don't just have a full-time job. I have freelance work too, so I'll do that as well as the animation work too.
Man, I don't know how you juggle so many projects.
Maximum overdrive.
So I tried to do this one as tightly as I possibly could do, like professional Ginga. So my lines are very thin, which is pretty expected because there would be a computer that would read this line and then extract the data.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, they'll upload this and put it through some animation software that will quickly pick these out. They added a feature like this to Clip Studio called Export for Paintman. Paintman is the software that they would use. But it would automatically read black, red, yellow, like all the colored pencil colors, and just turn it into anti-alias line.
Did you have to take a class for this?
No,
You just learned from pure experience.
just experience. But I do teach classes if anyone wants to know.
Oh.
I have one class that sells slots that will be starting in March.
Oh, okay.
Wow,
yeah,
wow,
plug it,
wow.
plug it, Val, plug it.
Wow, you hear that?
It's a little expensive for the class, but it's still cheaper than art school. So
That's true.
The
good
the
selling
class
point.
is through Warrior Art Camp. They do professional art classes for all sorts of industries, but our class is the first anime class they've ever had,
That's
and it's one of the first Western anime classes
How much is it?
ever.
Oh, that's awesome. Like really fulfilling like a niche.
Yes. So our last
up
class,
and
the
be
layout
flabbergasted.
animators that
What was it called?
we taught there.
something Warrior
half,
Camp.
Curious. I want to know. It's April now, so it's gone, but I just want to know.
Yeah.
Warrior.
Probably not going to find it then anymore unless it's the Warrior Art Camp.
for all sorts of industries, but our class is the first anime class they've ever had, and it's one of the first Western anime classes ever.
Oh, that's awesome. Like really fulfilling like a niche.
Yes. So our last class, the layout animators that we taught there, half of them got jobs in anime.
Dang.
There's one thing
Nice.
that we still need to do, which is called spacing charts.
What are spacing? What are spacing?
Sounds scary, but it's not that scary. So we should have done it on the layout, but we'll do it on the Ginga. So we'll be seeing it together for the first time.
Oh snap! Okay,
This is very Gartic phone, isn't it?
it is really good. Take
I
fun.
want to see
Okay,
it on my
okay.
stand.
It's expensive.
So I'm just
How much
gonna
was
quickly
It's
drop
cheaper,
them.
but it's $1,000.
Yeah. So the in-betweeners will know that there's in-between frames in these positions, but they don't know where to put them exactly. So they know that this is the first frame and this is the next frame, but there are infinite amount of poses between those two poses.
Right.
So you need to make a chart that shows you which pose or where they should put that. So in this case, we want from frame 1 to frame. There would be a frame 3, but we don't have it right now. So I'm just gonna do a simple chart like this.
That's nice.
You would do
An opportunity to
1
find employment.
and 3
Jeez.
like this. And you show an arrow showing that that's the timeline. Now if I put it in the middle, that would just show that they need to make sure that the drawing that they make is perfectly in between so that the motion is smooth. If I wanted to put it to where she was turning fast, then I would put the in-between closer to the next frame so that it's kind of like an ease out or ease in.
I see.
You can change where the in-between goes through these spacing charts. So from 1 to 3, there's only one keyframe, so I put a line here and a dash, showing that they need to make sure that the head turns like from here to here, it would be straight in the middle, so like that.
Right.
So what we would do with this next is put it into Clip Studio. Put it into Clip Studio. So I actually timed it in Clip Studio when I did it originally. So what we would do is we would scan these and place them on the timeline following this, which I already did. And eventually we would have that layout animation in here ready to go.
Belle, I can't believe you did all this.
I know.
For all us. This is crazy.
I'm so sorry, Belle. Thank you.
I feel bad.
Don't feel bad.
I
This is
do
fun.
feel bad. This is crazy. You have a whole ass animation here.
With like a background.
With a background and everything.
Belle, where can our viewers find you? Where are you most active?
Yeah, so my most active account is Twitter @bythebell. That would be my Twitter and Instagram. And like I said, I have a class that's coming out soon. So if there's any prospective animators out there that
already
want to
filled
join
up
anime,
anyway at the
it's a
time
Yeah,
of
really
when I was
good
looking
thing.
at it, it's
So
filled.
it's one of the very few English-speaking classes on anime.
If you would like those same privileges, check out the link in the description.
That is wild.
Good
That's
Lord.
awesome. That is definitely awesome.
So much information.
I would love to go back to school over in Japan just to learn there.
Right. Hey, that's how you can
But-
get us a visa.
Yeah, right. But hell, I'm still paying off my student loans from my first school, so.
Just keep holding out hope that they'll forgive all
God,
the
I'm
student
hoping.
loans.
42,000 is a lot.
By the time now all that was going on, mine were so low and I'm already almost paid off. I just went and paid mine off, bro. I was like, I'm not.
It's nice. I can't afford it.
I got lucky. Oh boy,
I can't afford it. It's so expensive.
it is cool seeing this kind of stuff as obvious frequent watchers and enjoyers of anime. We literally react to anime over on Patreon. That's
a job.
That's our side. That's the job. That's
That's
our
our
side
job.
job. So it's just cool to see. Now I'm not gonna be able to watch Konosuba without looking at the same thing she said. Oh, well, it's fine.
Yeah,
Still a
that
good show.
it is funny because it is one of those, like, for me, it has to be so consistently, blatantly in your face where I'm just like, okay, I can't do this. This
Yeah.
is rough. Usually I try to keep it to myself because I'm like, nobody likes that kind of person. When you're like, they drew the mouth wrong. But sometimes I'll think it.
This is funny. Like, I always think back to the Naruto Shippuden thing, and Madara got
Oh, God, that
from
was
one
so
frame,
funny.
had his Renegon early. He's like, why does he have the right?
No,
he doesn't.
yeah.
Click back. Well, I'll be fucking damned.
That was so funny
He
when I told
does.
you that. I was like, why is he got
I was
that?
like, well,
You're like, he does.
ignore that. He wasn't supposed to.
It's right there.
Ignore it. It's not supposed to be there.
It's right here in full color.
It's a big reveal in 3 minutes.
God, that was funny. I was so tickled at that.
Thank you guys for the continued support. We will see you for the next video. Bye.
Bye.